In this video, I plan to attempt to show the process for deploying a Google LTI 1.3 assignment linked through to Google Classroom, and as much of the round trip as I can of the student experience. I'm going to start my assignments. I'm going to go ahead and add an assignment. For now, I'll just call it temporary, as I often do, so I know to delete it later. And here would be my description of the assignment. I'll get that put in. Down here under submission type, I am going to be using external tool. And I will go ahead and find the document that I am looking for in my Google Assignments LTI external tool. Now I've been playing with it, so I'm not quite all lined up in the right accounts. Let me get myself back to my instructor's account. And now I'm in Create a Google Assignment with the new Speed Grader option. I still have to attach an assignment to this. And so I'll go ahead and I'll look for 1.1. A little bit crowded because I'm using a small screen. This is my homework assignment there. On higher bandwidth, I'll actually see images of the files, but I'm on a little bit limited bandwidth this evening. So let me add that file. Note that this will then distribute a copy for each of my students to edit and submit. There's my speed grader, and off the bottom of my screen, a little bit harder to see, is there's a create button. This particular dialog box makes it hard to see that, but let me move that up so you can see it. Create. So this will generate the assignment. I select at this point, and at this point I'm going to save and I'm going to publish this, even though it's not technically a part of this particular course. So I've now got my assignment set up on a Google LTI 1.3 link as an external tool. This is not the way I currently do things, but this is a new option to bring it back to SpeedGrader. I'll go to the student view, and it'll say it's a little confusing for the system. I'm already linked as an instructor. I'm going to switch to a dummy account. This will generate a few errors, but an account that doesn't actually belong to anybody and is not enrolled into college, and that's why it will generate some errors along the way. But it'll give you a little bit of an idea of the workflow involved. So if I was indeed this student, this is what I would see here, and there is the document. To get at the file to edit it, I click here, and that opens it in a new tab, the homework. This is now my copy of the homework. And the sample size here, I can now put answers in. One of the difficulties my students did have in 2021 when I originally used this system is at this point there's nothing on their screen that tells them how they submit, because they have to go back to this tab and then they can submit from this button here. They can go ahead and open to attach and submit, and I can submit it. If they want, you can go back and look at it. It's the same file I just had. It's still linked, but now I can, that would open it, I guess. That would be another way to open it. I'm still learning. But I can submit it, and it will be uploaded for the temporary assignment. Now, part of this process will be a little bit difficult for me to display. Yeah, they can resubmit because this isn't an actual student. So it's uploaded to LMS, but it doesn't really have anywhere to go because it's coming from there isn't a student that's going to match in any way, shape, or form. But I'm still currently in this Google Assignments window. Let me come back to the assignment here and go ahead and leave the student view. The student has submitted the assignment. I'm now switching back. I've got to switch the embedded Google window back to my account. So I had to leave test student and do this. A little bit awkward, but it works. And I am now back to being an instructor in Canvas, and I can see that Angelina Wangen has submitted an assignment. And indeed, if I click on this, I can open up that file and see what she has submitted. If I click and then click again, I can see what she submitted. The thing I can't show you from here is, well, I guess I can try. I can partially show you. This is the new part, and it's actually gonna look like it's gonna work. It worked. There's the file that Angelina Wangen submitted, displayed in SpeedGrader. So now I can use SpeedGrader to grade it, or if I've got a rubric attached, I can use a rubric. And most important to me, I can make comments that Angelina will see. Angelina's a fictitious student, so I can make comments that the students will see, and that was a difficulty in 2021. Students could not see the comments I was making down in the Google Classroom. If you make comments down in Google Classroom, those don't get surfaced on the students' dashboard list of recent comments. So this is a significant improvement. This allows me to use SpeedGrader to mark, which means that the comments will surface, and I can do my grading in SpeedGrader. Before, we had to grade in Google Classroom, and it got passed back. So this is a very nice new system. The one area you'll have to help students with is when they're working in a document, there is no button for submit. They have to come back to the other tab. It'll be another tab to resubmit. I also cannot tell you what will happen for students who are working on mobile. They'll undoubtedly need Canvas Student. They'll need the appropriate Google app, such as Google Sheets app for this particular homework. And they might need Google Classroom. I just don't know. So this is new, but it works similar to the way it did a year ago. It has some of the same issues where the student will say, but there's no button to submit here. They have to go back to the other tab. But certainly if your students are primarily working on laptop, this will provide a powerful way to integrate Google Documents into Canvas. Now it's a bit long and a bit not quite as compact as it should be. But what questions do you have at this point? Let me know. Thanks for hanging in there and watching this video. Much appreciated.